You're watching the Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
What's up?
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us on a Thursday evening. We really appreciate you being here. Tonight's guest is Christopher Caravallo from Mana Comics. He's going to be telling us about his publishing company and the comics that he puts out. We're really looking forward to this, to having somebody from our home state for the first time on the show. And on that cue, we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Once again, thank you again for joining us on SketchUp on this beautiful Thursday. And I say that because we've had rain all this time, and this was the first day of sunshine that we've had. We've got a beautiful mountain that has like a lot of snow on it. It's totally beautiful. If you haven't seen that, I haven't posted up on Facebook, but if you get the chance, go ahead and check that out. So tonight's guest, we have Christopher Caravallo from Mana Comics. I've known Chris for a few years now, and we're happy. I'm really happy to have him on here, and he's going to tell us about what he's got going on. But before we get into that, we have Mog. She's drawing on one of Chris's characters right now, Sista Shark.
Sista.
Okay. It's looking like it's a beautiful face. Sista. You get. I know that once I'm going to be talking to you for a little while here, my pigeons are going to start coming out. You know?
Yes. You'll shift gears.
Okay, and hopefully I don't embarrass all the local guys.
Yeah, it happens.
Anyway, so starting bid on Sista Shark is going to be $150. Chris, Christopher, are you drawing anything?
I am not tonight, but thank you for asking. I know that you did mention that. All right. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. We got that.
Thank you, Mog.
So, Chris,
beautiful, by the way.
Even though I've known you for a while, I don't really know much about you. Never had the chance. So
all right,
that we have this opportunity tonight.
The backstory spiel about
tell me a little bit how you decided to do Mana Comics.
Okay, well, it actually started when I was when I was younger, and my interests at that time when I was like first, second grade, it was Saturday morning cartoons, and it was the spin racks of comic book at 7-Eleven. That was kind of like my escape. That was the world to go to. And, it was the plunging between the couches to get the loose change. Back then, you could get the comics for like 40, 50, 60. You saw the prices increased. But but I would use those coins, and I would take off to the nearest 7-Eleven. I lived at Kailua at the time, so it was a nice, quiet beach town.
Yeah.
It's a 7-Eleven, and unfortunately, though, like during that time frame, I was under the rule. I like this. My dad and my stepmother. They didn't believe comics were good, so it was like contraband considered in my household. So so I would have to go ahead and stuff the comics under my shirt, pedal home, and try to walk in looking like a rectangle and try to not get frisked on the way in. So it was it kind of like at that time I was like, I didn't make sense of why they thought it was so bad. They told me outright that it was comics for like they're gonna corrupt me. But I didn't get it because the stories that I was into and reading, Avengers, Justice League, Titans, X-Men, all that, it really didn't display like anything sinister or evil. It was just, people, trying to help people, people that get knocked down and keep on coming. And they're, it was those heroic themes that I was like that, and the art and the stories that really just resonated with me. I was fascinated by that. And with that, I was this quiet guy, little boy in the corner. I wasn't really a talkative guy. Despite my heritage of Portuguese, I was actually the quiet one in the back, doodling with the pad, and
Yeah.
that was my way, I think, to, we kind of moved a lot when I first, was living in Hawaii. It was like we would go from place to place because my dad had different jobs. But however, it was that maybe just like icebreaker that I would use the drawing to probably gravitate people in. And hey, that was like my moment where I could like kind of like show and not really have to talk, but people would say, noticing, oh, that's really good. So it was actually that foundation, I think, that started with the classmates monocomics. The idea came later, but it was that foundation with classmates and drawing them as superheroes, and realizing a little bit later that it's like, like all Hawaii is, it's just a mixed fleet of people, all these races and diversity. It's not just one. It's, we got Hawaiian, but we also got like, we have Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Portuguese, Puerto Rican, the list goes on. So it was I think it was that idea and concept that kind of like laid that foundation. It's like, wow, this is actually, why don't actually we see this in mainstream comic book world of cartoons? I'd watch Super Friends and I'd see, the comics, and it was, it didn't really have, it wasn't diverse as it is now, obviously, but I always wanted to see that local flavor from this island. And I think it really never happened until like the early 90s with Sam Campos doing Pineapple Man. And I can remember actually going into the local comic book store and seeing Pineapple Man. I was like, well, is that something local, right? Yeah. I can still remember this. Kind of gives me goosebumps when I think about it, because I cracked it open and I was seeing like, the way that the characters are interacting, and you saw the pigeon, you saw the locations, and you're like, wow, somebody actually did it. They actually went ahead and made a comic book from Hawaii, and I was just thrilled beyond measure. And that was in my early 20s, I think, when that first came out. And that's something I wanted to do. I wanted to work with Marvel or DC, but when you're young, it's like you have a lot of dreams, but then reality hits and life comes at you, and you kind of put your dreams in the closet. Well, it wasn't until like many years later, I joined actually the police department, and I did a career of about like maybe 18 years into it, and then 18 or 19, and that's when I kind of was feeling this emptiness, like that joy that I what made me happy, what made me get excited about things, and I turned back. It was comics. So with that in mind, it kind of just, I was kind of hyper focused at that time. So Chris, you always wanted see a team from superheroes from Hawaii, so you got to do it. Now's the time, or else it's never going to happen. So not knowing what the hell I was doing, and we didn't have any comic conventions here. There was but thankfully there was
a small time.
Yeah. Yes, there at one point we had one like in the early 90s. I remember I think like Jim Lee, Will Patricio, a few others came here, and we had a little something. I think it was like Ilikai Hotel or something. And that was something. There was nothing in 2013, 2012 actually is when I was coming up with the concept, and I started fleshing out the ideas, but having no knowledge, and I would actually start to network and with other comic creators, and kind of like with their little tidbits of information. I was able, within 2 years, September of 2014 was the first issue of Amakua #1, and that was kind of like my bucket list time, right? And I threw everything at it, meaning like I threw a lot of local references, a lot of island humor that I grew up with. If you're from Hawaii and you're like old school like me, I mean, I grew up with like Brother Andy, Uncle Frank, and Uncle Rap, and I love that. Yes,
Rap Linger.
Exactly. It was those inspirations that kind of molded me to get a grasp on the island culture and hanging out with friends and just picking it up, and and I threw it all. I feel like I threw it all into maybe a little bit extreme, some would say, just maybe a little on the inappropriate side of times. But I really wanted to have fun with that first issue, because I felt it was like, okay, one and done, I'm done. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, I'm good, and we're done with it. But I just got some traction, and I think it really brought some excitement that I knew, like if I was a kid seeing like a group from here, that I would have been just blown away. And I think with that attention that I got from it, I say that kind of sparked that that maybe I can do something with this. Maybe maybe I'm not the best at what I do, but if I could gather the team with me and and make it happen. So with that, Chris Lohman jumped on board. I had DJ Cavalcante jump on board at times. I had this another fantastic artist, Mark Gold. So with these individuals and me being like the organizer of the creations of this universe that I started to, like I said, dream about when I was a kid. Mana Comics basically was developed, and September, like I said, 2014 is when that first one dropped. Since then, I think we're up to like maybe 16 or 17 books that we put out so far. So it's been a real blessing because I think it's like a void. I feel like there's a void, like island. When you're in the island, you see a lot of like books about, like geared toward the younger audience, these storybooks. And then there's like this huge gap, right? And then there's like adult books where you got Hawaiian history and granted, there are great stories about, Hawaiian history and stuff, but it's harder to digest, I think, for, someone who maybe not keen to writing. So that's where the comics come in. And I think it's been really a blessing and just a discovery that there are people out there thirsting for stuff like this. So, I mean, I had a lot of opportunities going to schools and talking with the kids about what I do and the universe I created, which granted, it's like I said, it's that mixed plate of island people that I banded together in one whole group, so it's been a great ride so far. And I'm just thankful every day.
Yeah, because Hawaii has not really been, because Hawaii has not been really represented or hasn't been yet. We haven't really gotten really the word out there. I mean, we hear many great stories, and I hear that from everybody that goes there and visits. It's wow, why hasn't this happened? Why is there not a movie on this? Why have we not heard more of this? It's like we're spreading the word, but it's like it's not going farther. But yet our spirit is felt, right? People, every time I talk to somebody and I tell them I'm from Hawaii, it's like the red carpet rolls out.
It does. It's like
they just get a feeling.
They lighten up because it's just great things. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? And you're right. It's an untapped resource of just, and I'm not talking, like I said, Hawaiian history. That's all good too, but we got so much other history too, and the different kinds of people, with all the different races that we have here. So it really is an untapped resources, and I think it's probably really slowly moving at that direction. But what a great way, I'm blessed, like I said, a great way to show our island culture in a way that's, I feel that it's authentic, and how the characters are interacting, with the color, with each other. So they jab at each other from time to time, they argue. And, like I said, they're all different nationalities, but like Hawaii, since the days of plantation, we make it work somehow, right? It's everybody.
We learn about each other.
Yes, and those barriers that kind of
separate us, and then we kind of accept it. Because I remember growing up in the 70s, right? And there was so much racism against towards Filipinos,
right?
And they would be calling us the books, and and all this, and tease us about like what we eat. And now you look at it, oh boy, everybody's talking about Filipino food as one of the other,
Everybody loves
I mean, they talk about all the other ethnic foods there too, but but now it's like Filipino food is accepted, right? And if Filipinos don't get joked around that much as like they used to, it's like when I was like walking around Ewa Beach, that was a rough neighborhood. You had to be careful where you were going,
Right. Yeah, and there was still
I'm not that big
still
of a guy
territory.
either. No, I'm not that big of a kid.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
you gotta
I
like
mean,
watch for things, but it's like we've learned to accept each other, and we
yes,
can joke about each other, and we can
yes.
take it, and we accept it, and we welcome
But
it, and of course we're
exactly,
gonna shoot
so
right
much has
back, but
changed,
we
Mel.
enjoy it.
So much has changed, and I wish there's so many lessons to be learned about the local people and the Aloha spirit and how they're interacting with each other. Yeah, you can joke. I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's okay to laugh, and honestly, that opens doors and it drops your guard, makes you feel comfortable with each other. Hey, and you guys are all cool at the end. If you're not, just take it to the parking lot. And then you guys are good again. You know what I mean? It's changed and it's evolved in a way where it's just like I'm guessing in another 5 years this will be maybe deemed inappropriate. Who knows? I don't know, but for now I'm just happy to represent the island culture that I was raised. And I feel it's these are all good things. The intention is good. The intention is aloha. It isn't to be divisive and mean to cultures. It's be stereotypical. It's to try to be authentic with who these characters are that I have. Some talking pigeon, some not. How they're interacting. You're catching phrases and words from not only the Samoan culture or the Portuguese culture. I got Hawaiian name. So it's a teaching moments, like how the X-Men was back in the day when they brought in like the Russian guy Kalashis, or you're learning phrases the Nightcrawler is saying from their language. So you're getting a little interested in exposure to other countries and people. And I think, like I said, it's just an untapped resources and good things that we have to share here. Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed that Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When I read that book and I got done with it, I was so excited. Okay,
Yes.
that's like I can remember 2 moments where the comics really hit me hard, and that was like one of them. Okay,
right.
And I think it's because they had such a wide international range of characters, and I go, wow, this is different. This is cool, and it's something that I could relate to, right? Because
exactly.
I could see that with what was happening in Hawaii, such a mixed plate of ethnicity there, right? So so that was a good
X-Men
thing.
was a great way to showcase that kind of a thing, the differences and the diversity, and you've kind of learned to like celebrate that being different, and because these guys were basically X-Men were like underdogs, right? You had the Avengers up here like a class of their own. You had the X-Men who were considered that underdog, who were considered that outcasts. A lot of similarities who what Hawaii people feel. A lot of times, either if they're going in the mainland or for something, you do feel like different in an outcast. But there's so much good in Hawaii that you're also bringing that aloha to people and to share. So, I mean, it's changed a lot. But I'm just like I said, being able to share the special things about on these islands. It's just like I said, I can't express how blessed that is. It's just a blessing for me.
Yeah, and we're lucky that we have that in our background, because I do think that it's an advantage. It's an advantage I know that I have, and I do use it from the time when needed to do some good things.
Yes.
But it has helped to like open doors, and it's kind of funny. And Mog hears me. Mog hears me tells this story, but we were in Savannah, Georgia, and we were going to kind of like a bar that was kind of like a speakeasy over there, right? And Mog didn't have her license, right? And I go, well, let's just try to see if he'll let you pass. So the guy in the front asks for her ID and Mog tells her he doesn't have it and you can't go in. And so we start walking away, and then the guy goes, "Hey, are you from Hawaii?"
I go, yes.
I said, "Yeah, I'm from Hawaii. How'd you know?" "I don't know, just the way how you feel."
Yeah, and it's a number of things. It's a number of tales and giveaways that local people. I love looking for local people wherever I go on the mainland, and you catch them a slower walk.
Oh yeah,
like a stroll, and then you hear like the bracelets, the clink of bracelets, and then and of course the pigeon. You will catch it like, oh, okay, who we got over here? So it's we're representing, yes, and we're spreading and just being able to understand people better. What a greater way you're representing and you're sharing your culture. It's to me, it's all good things.
Yeah, it is, and it's like people have that recognition, that association, that if you're from Hawaii, you're very friendly, you're very spirited, and you have like a lot of aloha. I used to work for
Yes.
I used to work for tech support in T-Mobile. Okay,
Mhm.
and so I'd answer the phone, right? And it's these guys are calling up and they got nothing but complaints, right? So I start talking to them for a little while, and they'll ask, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Hawaii." "Oh, you're from Hawaii." The
Yes.
phone call after that just got so pleasant. It's like,
It
oh,
got
this guy's
pleasant.
gonna help me with my problem.
It's
I
okay.
don't have to
It's
tell
okay
him anymore. He's
to
from
drop the
Hawaii.
aloha card. Everybody drop the aloha card. Like the phone conversations, most definitely, it lightens people up, and like especially because you'll say you're from Hawaii, and then you tell them how warm it is, and they'll jokingly say, "I hate you. I'm freezing. I'm freezing my butt off wherever they're at." But it definitely, we have a good positive reputation, and that's something that Islanders should be proud of. It. That's the message that we're sending.
Okay. So your book, Amakua, that was the first one that you came out with.
That was exactly. That was the first one. Like I said, I just threw all the humor and I had fun with it. I mean, there was a potential for doing more, but I really didn't think much of it at the very end of every book, and that started with issue number 1. On the very bottom, I won't just write the end, but I'll put "pow," but then I'll put a question mark, because then it's up to me. Like when I put that question mark, it's like asking a question basically. Is it you? Do you want this, the reader? Do you want this to be "pow"? That's what I'm doing when I put that "pow" with a question mark. You'll see it on every book. So it's from Amakua. I did a number of those, but then I wanted to really delve into the characters a little bit more. So then I did what is called like almost like Marvel double features. I did mono double features. The first one I did, it was with Gecko Man and Sister Shark, and I really wanted to focus on those characters. Sister Shark for me was it ended up being popular among the readers that I had. They would come up to me and say, "Oh, I really love her," and they didn't. There was really not enough information about her, but so I figured, okay, let's do one, with a nice little solo story with her. And Sister Shark, she, people, there's several people came up and they were cosplaying her, but after that issue, and it really brings me like just a sense of joy. I mean, you see your character walking at you from the pages of your book, and I think people can relate to like especially here, that local island girl, and they always want to root for that underdog, and I think Sister Shark. She represents that, and I consider her my Wonder Woman of the Mana universe, and I'm looking. She's got like three stories out for her, but then also like 2 mini versions. So I got this done with like a baby Sister Shark version of her, but I don't like dumb it down. I still keep it relevant to like an adult can enjoy it too, and the kids. I'm mindful obviously of the content, but it's still that same local island flavor and humor that that I'll try to push in my books if possible. You can't be all fun and games, and these ones I could just let loose and just have fun with those those little chibi versions. I definitely have just great fun with them. Sister Shark, I really want to finish her book. Like anything else, it's getting the time and to do it. Sister Shark was actually she's my Wamanala girl that goes to Kailua High. Initially, I was gonna make the Sister Shark a brother shark, but something told me inside to don't do it. Do her as a strong a strong mana wahine, just make her just tough like that. So I had to shift gears. It's like that works. So here she is, this character that Mog is drawing. She's this teen that doesn't really know about her history. However, through circumstance, she runs across a stranger who ends up being a Royal Hawaiian Guard, and she ends up discovering that she's from a lineage like shark men, like Monokane, who regard her as like like an outcast. Like she, okay, you know, in our lineage, there's nothing like you. We don't have that female like shark type. She's like a shark type, like a were shark, I guess, because she can transform from like a human form to like a shark form, right?
Yeah.
So she
Yeah,
was
like
a
a
woman.
were shark.
Like, how the heck did this happen? So there's more mystery surrounding her, but you know, Roy Huang Guard, who ended up being that person that, you know, that had kind of like found her out. Through that circumstance of meeting him, she was able to eventually join the Amakua. But there's more to the story of this shark. That's the latest one that you're throwing up on there. I'd say she's got at least 3 more issues to go to make that origin story complete.
Okay. Nice. So let's get to. I want to say hi to Stevie B and Ilya. Thanks again for joining the show with us.
What's up, Stevie?
And Stevie has a question here. He said, "Chris, were you familiar with the character Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt? He was created by a New York City police officer, Pete Morisi. Was he being in law enforcement any influence on your work?"
You know, I've never heard of this, but it always excites me to see another law enforcement officer doing something like this, because in a world of just division, especially when it comes to law enforcement officers, I kind of want to show and a guy like this individual, was it Pete that was posted his name? It shows another side. Yeah, you are represented in a certain light. I mean, but I want people to kind of normalize and humanize an officer, like, you know, that we do have passions, we do have joys in our life, and we get excited about stuff. We have dreams. We're not just like robots. Yeah. So if does it ever influence what I write? I think it definitely most likely does. I do a lot of like the writing and stuff. So I've definitely throughout my career, I've come across some characters, and as you can imagine, you're seeing you know, people that aren't at their best. So a lot of anger, unhappiness, and it's definitely, you know, you get different personalities and ideas. You know, I'm not gonna. I just sort of blend it all together. I don't say, yeah, this is the guy that I won the comic, or but it's definitely, I'm mindful of it. Like I'll throw in officers from time to time, and I'm pretty accurate that I do have that knowledge, so that's helpful, right? But other than that, yeah, that's it. It's, I would love actually to do like a local style, kind of like a RoboCop kind of thing. I have an idea, and I've kind of placed it on the side. But like I said, it's the time and money opportunity. But I would love to you know, especially when I retire, what I can write with the head. I can write whatever, because you know, off duty, you're still held to a standard. It doesn't stop. So on duty, off duty, you have to be able to, and rightfully so. You can't go crazy just because you're off duty. But you know what I'm saying. But I will be able to express more. I'll have definitely a lot more freedom, because I don't want to embarrass. You never want to embarrass your organization. And HPD has been good to me.
Plus, you're going to be getting a lot of time pretty. You're going to be getting a lot of time pretty soon, right? Because you're retiring soon. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I am actually. It'll be 25 years in December. 25 years in December. I came in 98. Hey, before cell phones. Before cell phones, Mel. Okay, that's where I was at. We got the brick ones. Yeah, we had that, but you know, it's definitely been the apartment. I've seen it like through like typewriters. Okay, that's the old school, and now we still have typewriters and we have to do certain forms. So now I got like these 20-year-old rookies that come up to me and they'll say, "Can you help me with this? Where's the delete?" You know, it's like, oh my God. Okay, now I've just been aged dinosaur status. So explain what a typewriter is and what you're supposed to do. But it's you know, it's been a good career. I definitely definitely was, you know,
cool. And
so many experiences, and
note,
I incorporate ideas into the book because of it.
Yeah. Okay, and on that note, we're going to take a break right now, so don't go away. We'll be right back with Chris Caravallo.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code. Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Comic Collectibles is here for you every Wednesday with AR Comics for two very important reasons. To sell you rare, one-of-a-kind comics that you'll love, and to confuse AR with old man talk. You see, Rex and John are, how should I put this, ancient as the roots of the mountains. So every week, Rex and John fill in AR in yet another area of pop culture that he missed because he's too young, just didn't have the time, or just really doesn't care about. It's a real public service they provide. Come buy some super rare and unique comics, while old men explain long-dead sci-fi shows to a younger man making that confused puppy face. Every Wednesday from 6 to 8 Eastern with Rex, John, and AR Comics. Comic Collectibles on The Experience. Comic culture and sales.
You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Welcome back to SketchUp. We have Christopher Caravallo here. Hey, if you're on now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and give us a follow there. And once we reach 1,500, we'll be passing out CGCs for free. You won't have to pay for anything. We'll be passing about $1,500 worth of slabs, each valued for what they're saying is about $100 each, right? So
the way
it's going to be in celebration for getting up to like 1,500, and that will be given out through various shows on the Experience, right? And if you're really into art, check out Nick Barucci's show on Fridays at 4:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the original art show. He's selling artwork, original pages, covers at dirt cheap prices you will not believe. Okay. All right. So, Christopher, you've also taken on telling some stories from Hawaii that you've got to be really careful about.
Yeah.
When you announced that you wanted to do Kamehameha.
Yes.
And
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be very careful when you touch those subjects because the people of Hawaii are going to be very critical of what you put out there with how you portray.
Very, very much.
A heroic, legendary figure of their history, right? And
exactly.
Was that an easy decision for you to make to take on?
You know, initially when I did decide that, I did realize from working the tables and events, people were asking if there was any type of books that has like Hawaiian history, island history in it, and I realized that was we didn't feel that need that it was there. So I I considered it. I was considering it, and then I think it was a discussion with DJ Calvicane. It says,
Yes.
"What do you feel about doing Kamehameha?" That was the first one that the challenge that we did, and he understood like I do, and he's more Hawaiian than me. That there is a lot of granted, it's not like all going to be negative. There's a lot of positive and supportive people out there, but there would be different camps that would say, hey, it needs to be done this way. There's certain ways to display it, and I think it really came down to intent. I'm part Hawaiian. I only got a quarter, but my quarter of my that I have, I'm very proud of, and it's my tutu was 100% Hawaiian. It's something that I realized. Yes, it's a topic that you have to be humble. You have to be respectful. These are the elements that the intent that you have to have when you're going into this project, and we did that. And not only that, you do have to do some due justice of educating yourself about obviously the king. But at the same time, too, there wasn't a wealth of information during his youth part. And so with that as consideration, and it being like basically a comic book, you had to kind of condense things. You had to weave a story from it. It's a challenge. And you knew, and DJ knew at that time, that we're going to get some flack. So we kind of put it on the burner a little bit. But what got me prompted to get excited about, I think we're supposed to do it. The Kamehameha schools reached out to me, and they were, it was something about the Kamehameha book, but I took it as a sign. They were looking to have an intern work with me in the Mana Comics and what I do, and if I could help, guide this intern to, ins and outs of what Mana Comics was about. I said, what a perfect sign, and I don't believe in just things happen. There's reasons for it. So I said, I think it needs to be.
I agree with you.
It needs to be shared, and you don't always get a pass, but I just knew it was important to do. And so, and at the same time, when people says you will tell me, I completed it with the help of DJ Kiabikani and my intern Mokihana. As well as several other interns who helped me with the book from Kamehameha. They did an Olelo version, and now that really excited me that they did that, because I've never seen that personally, like a comic book that would be able to give that knowledge to that generation coming up, to say, hey, now you can learn it in your native language. And so that that really was, I think it was heartfelt and moving for me. Like, wow, this is something special. And I knew it, although I don't have my native tongue, the Hawaiian side, I can't speak it, but these kids sure can, and have it. Wow, what an exciting and proud moment. I think that for not only me, but actually for those kids in emerging schools, those up and coming kids that are taking these classes. Wow, it's just an exciting resource. And like I said, there's that void, right, where they have those books for the young kids, but they don't. There's the interns right there, Mokihana, Chloe, and Peyton. So excellent. I couldn't ask for better quality of interns, right? 1, 2, 3. Chloe doing the translation, Peyton doing the marketing for it, and it really generated a buzz. I was able to get on the news even to discuss it, and having that excitement with these Kamehameha interns being able to promote it, and also teaching them a particular skill set for what they can use later on in life. So I was thrilled to be a part of that cooperation, and with DJ doing that outstanding art that you're showing. It really, honestly, feel like this book is going to be there on the shelf at Bishop Museum long after I'm gone, and it will continue to bring joy to that next person who reads it. It's to me, I already know in my head that that's the one. I don't foresee it getting any bigger, but then Pele, I think, is coming close. I think it's coming close, because I just feel that it's a great story. Shifting gears back into Pele, and that's another subject. Mel knows
another one. That's
that you have to be careful, because it's all about respect. It's all about There's a lot of people who feel passionate about our culture and heritage on the islands, and that's another subject. You do not mess with this kind of thing lightly, right? So she's and I think local people, that's part of, like, even if people who moved here, whatever, and you kind of brush up on the stuff like slippers outside, gravy all over kind of terms. These are important things up there that you learn quick because you have to. Unlike, gods and goddesses in other places, like there are still stories present day that Pele interacts with people, and disrespectful people definitely, are definitely frowned upon. And there's things like simple things to tourists may think, oh, this is not real. Taking lava rocks from the national parks that they had, and then the rangers saying, yeah, we always get boxes of these lava rocks back because they warn you not to take it because it's her creation, it's part of her. Do not mess with it, just leave it as it is. As part of being respectful, that I think a lot of the locals here said, yeah, when you come here, this ain't your house, so don't just mess it up or take things. You know what I mean? And if you do, there's consequences for that. So Pele is definitely revered and respected on this islands. And unlike Zeus, Thor, Hercules, she actively interacts with the public still yet. And to me, that's fascinating. And I think in this story, which is a present day tale of Pele, it really shows. Kind of shows what makes her tick, I think, and what makes her tick. And we pitched it on Kickstarter. You'll see some of the art. She actually she is portrayed in a way that I think really brings I don't know, like a realism to her, more so like, she's got different sides to her, and I think I enjoyed exploring that. And then you'll see all the different variant covers in which the magnificent Mog Park did, which I actually absolutely loved. So thank you so much for that one, Mog.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was fantastic, and it really blended the two features of what Pele's look like. With that, she's like a shapeshifter in the Hawaiian legends and stuff. So she does interact with people either via like a beautiful woman or like this older tutu type entity. So you got to be wary if you're driving around and you see like a lady in white walking around. You pick her up, and it's out of that respect that you do when you pick this person up. And it's actually, I mentioned that in another separate book, but I can't talk about that. That's still okay. I'm actually about a separate book, but I'll bust it out later. But yeah, so Tutu Pele is alive and well in the islands, and she's respected. But that story, I think, once again, I think that one's just it portrays in a way that shows like the true power of her, and also a softer side that I think she's not really seldom seen in that way. But I wanted people to understand that there's the devourer of land, but there's also that creator. She's the creator of land too, so she does have that passionate side. Yeah. And so
she also brought hula.
Yes, and you mentioned this before. Yes, she does have brought hula. So there's many sides to her. It's not just death and destruction and curses to you. It actually, she's Mother Pele to a lot of people too. So it's that nurturing and caring side. And I think you'll see that in the book. You'll see the kick-ass Wahine, but then you'll see that motherly, that nurturer that she does love the people here, and she wants what's best for them. But you just take care of the house. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and then you it's hard to well, when I look at like hula now, right, it has gotten so much respect.
Yeah,
that it's gone outside of the state of Hawaii.
Yes,
because you see they have all these hula competitions in other countries now.
Yep, Japan is big on that. You see it there.
Japan, Germany,
yes.
Even here in California, they've had their own Merry Monarch for a while. It's not that well known, but it's out here in Torrance and Hawaiian Gardens.
Yes,
but it's amazing how many hula halau have popped up and how much attention it has gotten. It is such a big major event. And who do we credit for that? Pele.
Yes.
She's the one that started it all.
Exactly.
It's
And
the
it just
beautiful side of her.
yes, yeah, exactly. That's that side that it's often missed because everyone's worried about the boogie woman, and she's going to do this to you, but then you got that side that you can appreciate and respect, and it's just like that mother. You don't mess with mom, right? That's the mentality that it resonates with the Islanders, that they're on that level. So it's with that respect that I do approach that story, and then I knew like people would call me out on it. There's been a few PMs, but you need protocol this, and I get it. I mean, I understand that part of it, but I actually went to Kilauea and at the park, and I had a little talk with Mama Pele, and I says, look, this is what I'm planning to do. I'm going to be respectful, and I want people to talk about you because I think remembering is the most important, and to share you. So with that, I walked away. So that to me, that trumps anything that anybody says, and knowing that I'm doing it with good intent, I don't worry.
Yeah.
So Chris, so many people have encounters with Pele.
Yes.
So for people who don't know, for people who live in the mainland, just to give them an idea, like, have you collected by interviewing people of real encounters with Pele, or have you yourself also encountered Pele and you have a story to tell?
I'll just personally, I haven't encountered Pele, but there are numerous stories in it. Normally, even the simple stuff, you'll see it like anytime that you will see an active volcanic activity that's happening up at the craters. People will snap pictures. You'll see these these amazing, just awesome images of whether it be a face that's Pele, or someone dancing within the flames. Hey, that's Pele again. So those kind of stuff is just granted for interpretation, but I mean there's a lot of belief that is who is within that flame or within that smoke. I've come across people by talking story with them, being able to see like the old lady Pele side, Tutu Pele, within the smoke and stuff, seeing her actual face come up to them. So it's very real. It's very true to the culture, and within the stories that you hear, a lot of the familiar stories is a lady in a white dress and older lady walking in the street, that it's trained within the local culture to be respectful and say, hey, offer this person a ride, right? It would be bad luck not to. So you will see that common thing within a lot of the stories. They offered her this lady a ride within that area of the volcano and somewhere else on the island, and they turn around and Tutu's gone. And so it's definitely like I said, it's not like the older gods of the day. It's actively still that goes on. So it really is amazing to think that wow, that truly is a special place. Big Island is like a second home to me, and to have those occurrences and you get, the nature of just the Big Island itself, not just the lava, you got the snow. With all that, you can feel the presence of gods, because you got, and within the story, Pele visits part of her family. There's some great scenes of her visiting her sister up at Mauna Kea. You got Poliahu's up there, who's the goddess of snow. So obviously, fire and ice do not mix, but Pele goes up there for advice. And so there's interactions with her and her ex, Kamapua'a. So that's gonna go over well, right? Because there's some bad blood there, and then finally, I think there's another interaction with Ku, the god of war. So in the book, I tried to not to make it so godlike and all powerful, but sort of like more human emotions, because I do believe they have feelings too, right? So to tap into that, and you can see that different sides and of them, and people can relate to those emotions and appreciate the story better, I feel, rather than portraying just whoa, you know what I mean, almighty, and you kind of forget that they do care, and a lot of the cares that drive them is keeping the land, protecting it, and hopefully that we continue to be stewards and preserving what we have, and cherishing it, because I mean so much changes already, but
Yeah.
Big Island still, there's a lot of spots that I feel like are just beautiful and sacred, and I'm glad there's certain areas that remain untouched. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Can
and
I?
you can kind of feel it when you're there too, because I know
Oh,
there's like certain areas that I go to, you go, wow,
yes,
there's something there. It's like a
it
presence.
is. It
or
really
something
is.
there.
You get in touch with a different side when you're over there compared to like Oahu.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where everything's paved over. Over
that's
there,
right.
there is something a little bit more, not feral,
Yeah,
but
there's
wild.
there's more places.
Yes,
Oahu has a few spots,
yes.
but the Big Island, man.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that energy and mana is in different areas that you're like, wow, this is pretty astonishing. It really is a definite feeling of wonderment when you do explore. So yeah, if anyone's listening, my suggestion, you could probably skip Oahu and just go Big Island or Maui, because it really are great experiences to be
Big
had.
Island is my favorite island. That's where I like to go.
Yes,
That's my
honestly,
favorite. Yeah.
to me, I consider that my second home.
Yeah.
Kohala was where my mom was born, and my
Oh.
grandparents are from. So it's I have that connection to Kohala, and I just consider it my second home. I never had a chance to live in Big Island, but it's beautiful. I'll go there as often as I can.
Yeah, out of all the islands, I visited the Big Island the most.
Yeah,
Way more
yeah.
than the other islands put together. Mark,
You
you have
definitely,
something?
Yeah.
you feel more free. Definitely, you don't feel just tied up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely more country, and
So laid back.
yes,
So laid back.
Kohala.
People don't lock their cars or their doors.
I think it's definitely like a slowdown in time too, because
Yeah.
even how they talk and stuff, their pigeon is different from our pigeon.
Yeah.
A lot of times our pigeon is rapid fire, whereas like my uncles, they're like Portuguese and stuff. They're like a slow down mix. They're like, oh, Chrissy, how you, boy? They brought it down plantation style, and it's just very soothing and push you to sleep how they talk. So
and that must be a thing with the country people, because that's how it is too. Like everywhere, like
Yeah.
right here in the U.S., they go, well, I reckon it's about time.
I think that the
we
lifestyle
have dinner.
definitely makes you shift gears, and I appreciate that a lot, especially if you're high strung.
Yeah.
Big Island, and then you get to just immerse yourself and just
And it's
drown
kinda
yourself.
It's kind of hard to slow down because you're over there trying to listen and you're going, yeah. And then,
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I think
definitely.
Mark wanted to ask you something.
Sure, Monk.
Actually, I just wanted to say that while working with you, I only knew the younger version of Pele, but I didn't know about the older version of Pele.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fascinating, because I used to work in Halekoa, the military hotel in Oahu.
Yes.
So it's very popular hotel for those in the military. You guys will know, even in the mainland.
Yes.
And even in Oahu, there's a lot of hauntings, surprisingly, and it's very, very frequent. And we always have to open a little office inside the hotel. And when we opened it, one of our coworkers, she came early in the morning, and there was this old lady dressed all in white, like a old-fashioned white dress.
Yes.
Right? And she had a huge white hat. Okay?
Wow.
And she had red lips, but it was an old lady. And just standing right in front of her and smiled with the red lips. And my coworker, she fainted because she was so shocked, because it's like you lock the door, there's supposed to be no one, and then she's there, right? And she's bathed. She's like there, and then she's like, what? And then she's gone. So and then it kept continuing, the haunting. Luckily, I was not the opener, so I'm always late. I didn't.
That's when being late is a good thing.
Yeah, but I didn't know. And then we asked the manager, the hotel manager. I was like, dude, we've got some problem here. Can you do something about this?
Yes.
And he's like, oh yeah, she's popular. We all know her. She's like, oh yeah, you saw the what? old lady with the white dress.
With the big hat. That is insane.
big
But
hat.
over here, it's interesting. Hawaii's, I mean, we're attuned to the supernatural, but supernatural could be like spirits of just regular people who passed, warriors. But then you also got to contend with gods or goddesses and the stuff that was kapu back in the day. You can't just be messing with things that you don't understand. In other words, like when tourists, they mess around with rocks, you have no idea what kind of things could have been happening near or on those rocks. So you don't know what kind of I call it ooge that could get on you if you mess with things. So it definitely, there's some warning labels that it's to be had when you do come to the islands, but supernatural experiences, full body apparitions. I'm familiar with that for that part. Actually, Waikiki.
But it got so bad that the coworkers started to not come to work.
Oh.
So we had to call a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the manager knew. It's a dear friend or something. And the shaman said, "It's like, oh, very simple. It's okay. And then just get the purest water you can find. Just with tap water and Hawaiian pure salt.
Yeah.
You put the salt in here, right? And then you have to get the baby shoot tea leaf where it's like still a bud like this. It has unfurled exactly looking like this. And you have to get a cutting, make sure it's young. And then when you enter, make sure that thing enters first before you like this. Right? And then you put the tea leaf in. And then you can enter. But the funny thing is, this is what happened. So we're like, this is bullshit. But we did it. Right? And when the first time we did it, I kid you not, this baby thing, unfurled and got destroyed right away.
What?
Yeah. So we went back to the manager, asked the shaman again, "Hey, this thing happened. What do we do?" I was like, do it again. So the next time we did it again, enter like this. And we put the damn thing. Luckily, it didn't unfurl. So we did it. And then he said, make sure you do it like every 2 weeks, refresh it. And then ever since then, the haunting disappeared. But yes. Oh
wow! See, it's all about intent too. I think I got a packet of Hawaiian salt. Eva is kind of infamous for, for there's being a lot of like those portals that remain from the old Hawaiian times, right? And you got like night marcher routes from the mountains to the ocean. A lot of things are basically forgotten, and so I've heard stories where people's wake up and their furniture is pushed in a certain way. And
that one. Yeah.
Yes. And even like in people's tool sheds, their stuff get pushed, out in the back. And then I forget the guy who was telling me this. This is just, you're on a path here. They're coming through. So I mean, there's a lot of really, like I said, Hawaii is definitely deep rooted into the supernatural, and it was a part of life. I think in old Hawaiian time, it was more accepted. I mean, I'm sure it got them scared, but it was just another part of life,
right?
Rather than
it was part of their culture.
Yes,
they accepted it. They respected it.
They respected it. That's the key, right? What you said.
The key, right?
Yes.
So it kept them safe, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like going away, but hopefully we can kind of get that back. So on that note, we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back with Christopher Carnaval.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP. Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show, on The Experience, comic culture and sales.
Welcome back to SketchUp. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Thursday evening. Once again, Mount Park is drawing one of Chris's characters, Sister Shark.
Sister Shark.
Sister.
Yeah, you got to say that.
Sister.
Sister Shark. Okay, now I see earlier you got a bid in there at 125, but I'm sorry, the starting bid is 150 as we announced earlier. So if you want to pick this up, go ahead and take that opening bid. And for everybody that's here tonight, if you want to get Chris's books, you can head over to monocomics.com and you'll see all his books there. Amakoa, Sister Shark, Anui Nui as well, and a T-shirt as well, so you can pick that up.
So what is it? What is her personality like? What are her superpowers besides being a were-shark?
Okay, so basically, it is. This is interesting that that I try to always like when I do lessons or classes, when I talk about creating superheroes. Yes, she's strong. Yes, she's fierce. Yes, she's savage. She can swim in all these aquatic based powers. But at the same time, I always tell people it's best to have weaknesses. Yes, she's tough, but she wasn't always tough. But her weakness, as it stands, is when, for instance, she's fighting in the ocean. She gets startled or overly excited or something and like frightened. Then she'll revert back to her human form. And for whatever reason, in her human form, she can't swim. So it's with that kind of irony and just it makes it different, right? It just automatically you think, whoa, I mean, that could be, that could be problematic, right? So I try to tell like the students that I come across, and when I say to create your own superheroes, try to understand to obviously make a lot of personality into them, add information to them. Kailua High, volleyball player, and obviously kept away from the ocean because she couldn't swim, in her human form. But by creating a weakness, it also creates like you're worrying and you care for the character. For instance, if they're like a total tank and it gets boring, like that character. That's why Superman is difficult to write, even though he's got like weaknesses of magic and kryptonite. It's difficult when you're such a tank. People lose interest. I think that's why people sort of gravitate to Batman, because Batman can get broken. Characters like Daredevil, they can really get busted, and I think that human element to them and that sense of worry for the character. You don't know what's going to happen to them at times. That makes the character that much more interesting. So
it also makes them human, right? To see
That's
that they
so
can
true.
be that they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
that they can be broken, that they can be mentally, spiritually, physically broken. Then
and
it
that's
makes it
so
more
much
relatable to us.
so much
I agree.
of that you can relate to
Exactly.
as a reader, as a person, that you become attached to that character in whatever which way that resonates with you. So Sister Shark, like I said, I will definitely, I draw upon my cousins who are like tittas in Wamanalo, literally, and with that kind of personality. However, in the comic books, in the ones that I did before, her origin story, it shows a not so confident, insecure Sister Shark, and eventually that grows into a more of a warrior, stronger female character as it progresses. So, yeah, I mean, I absolutely love her, and there's so much to the character that I want to share and surprises to be had with her. So,
Okay.
like I said, she's my Wonder Woman, and I'm not gonna let her go. There's gonna be more to her and more to her story as time goes on.
Now she's a beautiful character.
Yes.
Beautiful Wahine, beautiful Hawaiian
Yes.
girl. Okay.
Yes.
But it's definitely somebody that you don't want to mess around with. And for our audience, can you define for them, what is a tida?
It's funny because the new generation. One time I asked these kids, and they didn't even know. I was like,
"Oh,
no way!
What are your parents doing at home?" But growing up in our local culture, there were two words that you learn quick, especially if you're in rougher part neighborhoods. It was moke and it was tida.
Yeah.
Which by standards of local interpretation, that means just somebody who's rugged, who's tough, who will probably end up scrapping you, if you look at them sideways. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of people that are considered moke, which would be a local boy version, and tida being a local girl version of just tough guys. And they're not necessarily just delinquents and punks all the time. It's just they're really tough in nature, and they're really just that type. So it's not always a bad thing. Oh, you're such a tida. I mean, it comes across as like, oh my gosh, you're really someone who's tough. So it's
But the thing is that Hawaiian girls have some level of tida in them. You don't want to get them angry. You don't want to mess with them. Then they will fight you.
They will punch you.
Yes. And then and I don't want to be too much of a giveaway of what's in this latest book, but tida girls will when they have their hair down, it's real beautiful, like hula kind style, right?
Yeah.
But when they're ready to fight, it's going down
man.
when they put their hair up like a thick color, the tida bun. You'll see that terminology. And once that messy bun is up, someone's gonna get punched in the face. That's just the way it is.
Yes,
and it's gonna hurt.
Yes, it will definitely hurt,
dude.
Yeah, dude. It's not going to be a little punch.
No.
Yeah, it's
dude. The girls there in Hawaii, they're tough. Like when I started to work in Hawaii, I worked in a tourist industry. Oh wow, shock surprise! Everybody works tour industry. Anyway, one of the coworkers, she got angry at a customer, and she said, "Man, I want to punch this guy."
Yes.
And I thought, oh, you're just saying it. But then she had her fist clenched and everything, and that's when I realized, oh, she's serious. So I had to take her out and say, hey, just calm down. And
it's like tida mode. They're ready.
It was actually, for her, it was a verbal warning. And she really meant it because her fist was clenched, like she was gonna do it. And I was thinking, oh no. So yeah.
Not only the demeanor changes, but it's like from proper English, and then it starts to shift to pidgin. Once that transition happens,
it's for real.
The hair goes up.
Yeah.
No.
No. It's such a big change because you're over there, you're listening. Okay, I can understand you now.
Yes.
And then she's talking to a guy, and she gets into that mode.
Yes.
And then the guy doesn't mean, he's trying to understand what's going on. And then he goes, what? that just fires them up more.
Yeah. That's oh God, the word what is
what? Yeah.
What? Yeah. I mean, my brother learned real quick. We lived in Waianae. My brother, he I looked like I'm past Portuguese. My brother took our little English that we have, and my brother's like more like reddish hair with green eyes. But he told somebody what, not knowing what not to say that. That's when we lived in Waianae. Well, next thing you know, 20 tidas were jumping them in Waianae Elementary. I was like, holy crap. I could just see all these females flocking. I was like, oh my God. You learn fast. You learn fast, you get prepared for a beating.
Yeah.
Very equal gender there. They don't care if you're a guy or girl.
You learn fast. I was 10 years old when we moved to Hawaii. Right. And I ended up going to like Powell Elementary School first, right? And I learned fast. I mean, it's mainly a Filipino community, but
Yeah.
still, right?
Mhm.
In that community, I'm still hearing stories about Pele, about
Yes.
Kamehameha, about their encounters, and then
Mhm.
about the culture, about tiras, mogs,
Yes.
and you don't want to you don't want to say certain things because that will automatically start a fight.
Yes. Yes.
Hunters, they're not going to say, "What did you say?" They're
Yes.
just
There,
gonna
there
come
won't be like
with it.
a clarification. Could you please clarify? No, it won't go down
No,
like that.
no.
'Cause
There's no talking.
that's when you learn real quick. It's almost like prison rules. You have to learn it quick. It's you
Yeah, if you
take it
want to
in and just
survive,
respect it.
yeah, you want to survive, you got to learn it quick.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and Sister Shark, she's my Tita. She can be anti aloha, and then when it's needed, right back straight Tita mode. You know what I mean? So
That's what I love.
it's
That's
that
what I love.
switch, and you can see it. Chris Loman drew a great sticker that says like there's a picture of like her name is Lonnie. So Lonnie's on one side in her uniform, and then when you flip the sticker, it's like Sister Shark. So the wording is like sweet, and then it says sweet, and then it says salty. So you got two sides of Sister Shark on this one sticker. It's really a fantastic artwork too.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get back to a little bit to like Kamehameha and Pele, right? So
Sure.
how did you went to Kamehameha?
Yeah.
Did you?
I'm sorry?
Okay. You went to Kamehameha High School?
No, I didn't go only to summer schools. That's how I only can claim
Okay.
summer schools because
Okay.
I took the test a couple times and never passed, never had the math skills for it. But it was the Kamehameha that really the interaction with me by reaching out to interact with the interns that really got me solidified in the fact that I needed to do it. So I went to like a small Christian private school. I was a really good straight-laced kid. But the summer schools, because I couldn't pass classes in the private school, I'd have to go to my public school near me and try to pass it. Oh man, that was horrible. I think I was a daydreamer. I think a lot of times, a lot of creatives are. So I couldn't focus. I'd be like I said, I would doodle and stuff, and it was horrible. And if I felt like, what am I going to use this for? Mentality. A lot of times, I was shut down. Basic math, I would go that far. You know what I mein? It's and I would have to retake the classes over. it was bad, but there was instances in schools though that I've gone to that I thank God for the great teachers that I've had along the way who really nourish the creative side, who would say, hey, let's do creative writing or creative art and make stories and stuff like that. When it was those opportunities, I think that was the time to shine. So it was maybe I wasn't good at one thing, and I was feeling kind of down that I wasn't good at math or English, but guess what? I'm better at this, and thank God for the teachers that were able to give me that confidence, and I could feel good about myself with something at school related. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's and it's amazing that the how nowadays it's commonplace to have public schools, private schools that have curriculum that gears to like creating these stories, comic book versions. And so that's why I get a lot of opportunities to go to schools because they're actually making comic books. And I'm thinking, you guys are so lucky. We weren't even allowed to do this kind of stuff. This is fantastic. So I am happy to see that next generation that even though with our, there's a lot of changes with the computers and stuff, but at least they can appreciate the comic book, form and stuff and developing stories. I just think that's just really fantastic.
So that leads us to a question that Stevie B asked a little bit earlier. He asked, is there a school on the islands for artists who want to be animators or comic illustrators that offer programs geared for that type of work?
The community colleges itself does a lot of like Kapilani. I know they have a great animation program. There are animation programs, but as far as like comic books,
no.
You probably better online to try to discover things via the internet. But there's a lot of good animation schooling to be found here, definitely. And I know, like, actually, Sam Campbell's had a great gig going when he would open up his offices to aspiring artists
Yeah.
in anime and comic books. I wish he would go back to. I just mentioned that. Are you ever going to do this again? COVID kind of killed it,
Yeah.
but to open it again, because that really gives an outlet for these kids. Maybe they feel like, like I did, or even Sam did, where like you didn't feel good at school because you sucked at different things, but your outlet is this. So what a great opportunity for the kids that did pass through his art classes to be able to learn from Sam, who did Pineapple Man, the first local style superhero, and learn from it. Currently, I want him to go to do it again, and I would say that would be the best opportunity that you would have if you just focusing on like comic book styles and anime styles, because they had some great teachers with Sam, Mark, and Art over there at the Kawasaki.
Studio. And then, because I remember Ann was saying that, like, especially for her during that time period, for her, she would go there a lot, right? It was kind of like a haven for her, to help her deal with what was going on during that time. And she told me that if that wasn't there, she wasn't sure what she was going to do. So she was very thankful. So that was a testament to what Sam was trying to do over there.
I think I'll press him. I just asked him this like maybe a couple nights ago. I'm going to press him again and tell him to realize what a great thing that was, and how many people that he inspired and touched by just opening that up, that opportunity. I mean, I totally wish I had the time for something like that, but I'm glad that Sam was there to do that as well. Like, I'll go in like the schools and I'll discuss the one facet which I feel like I'm probably it's better at, which is the creation part of it. Like, how do I come up with these characters, and I'll give my spill of how to do it. So it's but that's just a start for that person who wants to pursue it. Definitely learn all you can about. It would make you a stronger person if you want to make something like this, is to learn all different facets. The art side, yes. The coloring, if you can too, because there's all that's on the internet. The lettering too. The more well-rounded you are, the more powerful you can be. If you want to be like an indie type self-publisher, like what I'm doing, and thankfully, like I said, Sam, them guys, a lot of them will do it all on their own, which I give them credit if you can do it. But it just takes so. I mean, Mog knows it's so time consuming that you'll get 2 years of wait before you get to do actually a project, at least, And I'm grateful for the people that I've worked with, and I want to be in that position where I can say, okay, Monocomic Universe, create it and just delegate and be that Oz behind the curtain. And just to keep it going as long as it will take me, and and like I said, this is my passion. This is what I grew up wanting, and often wondered this, just to see it and coming into fruition, it gets me really excited. And having opportunities like talking with you guys about it, it's always a joy for me to share.
Yeah, and that's not to say also we have Michael Cannon, right, who does Comic Jam over there in Hawaii. And he gathers a group of artists to just to get around and draw at the ProRes shopping center. So if you're an artist that's local to there, check him out. Check out his website, Comic Jam. He's pretty active. He gets a lot of things going. There's a lot of things that you can participate in. It won't cost you anything.
And most definitely. And that's kind of like where I started my comic book journey, was hearing about these guys in ProRes that would sit down and do it. And that's kind of like how I met Chris Lohman on the side to get Amakua started. But it was like, if you're that, and like I said, I'm not the most, I'm not extrovert. I'm definitely more introverted. And this group of guys are similar in that aspect, but you don't have to be. You can just you feel like you're part of the family just because you're all similar interests, and this is your crowd, your people. So if you have that interest, you live in Hawaii, definitely check them all at Pearl Ridge on the weekends. I think it's like the first either Saturday, Sunday of the month, but definitely check out Michael Cannon's website. If you go to comicjam.com, you'll see it, and you'll have like a schedule on there of events.
and there's several events that are there going. I remember when I was like there, and just trying to find a comic book shop was kind of like hard at the time, and
Yeah.
we didn't even have 7-Elevens back then.
Really?
That was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, and you went from there was the comic club that would meet once a month at the Mo Ili Library. Very, very small. I remember the first time that I went there and I thought, oh wow, this is gonna be like a con or something. I'm gonna spend the whole day there. It was done in less than an hour.
Yeah, it didn't, and it was all about timing. Actually, when Amakula first came out, there was no cons. So that was 2014. 2015, I think they ended up being like two.
There was
I think it was
Kawaii Con was then. They had Kawaii Con at 2015.
Yes, so there was a couple that came out on one of the Big Island during that time. So wow, it's like maybe it was the universe's way, God's way to say, hey, this is the time. Right now is the time because this is going to happen. And yeah, talk about luck. And honestly, I can say this with all sincerity. Like back in the day, 18, 19, I thought all about Marvel, DC. I'll be doing all these other, writing characters or drawing characters. But now that I'm a little older and grayer, I really enjoy doing my own. I think I never had the opportunity. If it ever came across, I probably wouldn't say no. But I just love to draw characters of your own creation. There's something, I don't know. It's just like having like your babies out there. Sure, it's they might get ridiculed and stuff, but it's still a part of you, and it goes out there.
Yeah, because in let's say around 2015, Kawaii Con was been there like a few years already.
Yeah,
and then it was in 2016 and 17 that we started seeing like more cons. Hawaii Con on the Big Island.
Yeah,
and then we had Amazing Con.
The
very first one that had,
yes.
They had Todd McFarlane come over. Boy,
Stan Lee.
And Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, that was like the Stan Lee one was just absolutely
major bonkers crazy.
Yeah,
that's the bonkers crazy. It really was. I just remember being so overwhelmed. Like, because I was working the booth and everything was in disarray. I'm like, holy crap! I didn't have no idea it was going to be like this. But I think people really, they loved. Jimmy J does really a top-notch job when he creates these cons and the focus that he brings to it. So, but having that Stan Lee drive there, everybody loved Stan Lee. They always was seeing him, and it just was a great feeling. And I'm so glad that I was a part of that one. That was fun.
Yeah. So Hawaii went from you could barely get a show over there. I remember in the 90s because I was already in the industry, and I was doing shows a little bit across the country. There wasn't too much. There was like Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. There was the Chicago Comic Con, and then San Diego Comic Con. Those were the main shows to do at that time.
Yeah.
Hawaii had nothing. Right?
Zero.
So when Image got formed and they decided, a friend of mine, his name is Ferdinand, he decided that he wanted to bring some of the Image guys over to Hawaii, and that's where they made that appearance at the Ilikai. You had Scott Williams, Wills Portacio, and Jim Lee, right?
Oh,
and
man.
The Image guys here that didn't go, they're going, oh, I see. They only want to take the Asian guys.
Wow. No, because I remember having my books and stuff and going down the road because they were all on a table. And Jim Lee, crap. And then Wills looked at me. He goes, I did that too, And I was like, oh, okay. Sign. Nice. It was a fun time. Never had all the booths and stuff, but it was awesome to see actual, people in the industry, which I never got to experience till that time in Night at the Ilikai. That was the first time I seen that, but since then, I know you guys with the WonderCon. That was my second experience. Was the WonderCon, actually visiting a con. But there's better, definitely better interest in the islands too. Now that it's it's going around with definitely on Oahu with actual in the island of Kauai. I know Big Island's probably drumming something up. So there's definitely and Maui as well. So there's a lot of love here. and I can see it potentially even getting bigger and bigger, because I mean it's a destination spot. I think
It is. It is.
there's always good that everything good starts off small, and I think a lot of things these ones can be really a definite like main hub.
So when they brought the image guys there, one thing that they learned quickly was that it was too expensive to do a con over there.
Oof.
That was the main thing, because that when they did that was just a test to see if they could.
Yeah.
And it just numbers wise, it didn't work out at that time. Okay. But now I guess the numbers are working, because Hawaii doesn't just have one con. They've got a con on every island, practically every island.
Yep.
And Oahu, the major island, has 2 cons.
Yes.
And both cons are existing, and they seem to be doing pretty well.
Exactly.
In a location where the population, the numbers are up there. They're like a middle range con. They're not going to get numbers like San Diego Comic Con or WonderCon or anything like that. Okay, but the fact that the island is willing to support, or the state is willing to support that many shows,
yes,
and that they're doing well, right?
Yes,
is a testament to how much the state is into this pop culture phenomenon
exactly
that we have now. Right? And
exactly.
it is no greater time for creators to be in there now to put out their work. And we've seen that from Hawaii with many creators. Chris, as you mentioned, Sam Campos, the godfather of comics in Hawaii. And there's a lot more other people. And hopefully we're going to be able to bring each one of those to the show, and we'll be able to talk about their projects.
Their journey as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, I honestly, like I said, I didn't know what the hell to do when I first started, but there's a lot of local people here that they don't, it's not like dog eat dog where they rip each other down to get ahead. They are really supportive in a lot of ways to point you in the right direction and give you encouragement where you needed it. So yeah, it's definitely there's there's a lot of local talent here, and a lot of love for the comic industry itself.
A lot of love, a lot of spirit. Because I remember when we started getting into the industry, nobody knew who Mog was, right? And it was hard to, right? But when we started hooking up with like guys like you and Sam, then you guys were giving us like a lot of support. That helped a lot, right? And I started doing those shows at the military bases at Hickam and Schofield, and you were coming along with Chris as well.
Right.
I'm happy to have you guys on there showing support. And I wasn't trying to I didn't make any money on it. That wasn't the idea. But I just wanted to just get everybody together and be able to share, what their projects and get them out there, right? Because I did it that first time I did it, I only had Mog there doing the show. Then the following year, I said, man, why am I doing it just for one person, man? All these other people have their stuff, that they can say. It's not competition. I don't consider it competition at all, because everybody's doing their own,
Yes.
So that's when I said, you know what? We're going to do it for everybody. I'll take whoever can come in. It was a small show, but it was great. It was fun. Yeah.
And once again, there's, like I said, there's so much different talent here, and it's nice for people. And thank you for that opportunities to get out there and show what we're doing. Everybody's got their own unique visions of what you want to do, and not necessarily has to be rooted in local cultures, but there's there is a lot of that flavor out there. But then there's also people like DJ who do like medieval type of work with his Exilion. So you've got people with their passions and their dreams that they have. Everybody has something different, and so there's a lot of variety to be sought out here. So
I've seen cyberpunk, I've seen sci-fi.
Yes,
fantasy, every genre is represented there.
Genre, anime, and
manga. Yeah, it's all there.
Yes, manga. John Murakami does his stuff that I absolutely love too. His comical take, his humor, and
with the pigeon.
he really gets me good with his local humor too. I absolutely am a fan of him as well. So he's got some great. But Gordon Ryder is definitely the hero. I can totally see him as a Amakua inductee for sure. With his bebies outside his pants. That's how he rolls.
That's what we should call it. We should, for the comic industry in Hawaii, how like they have the Eisner Award here and Ringo Awards. in Hawaii, you know what it should be called? The Bebedi Award.
You know, a lot of people, you know, only local people would catch on, but yeah,
Exactly.
the Liberty Award goes to. It has a nice ring to that, for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, you
But-
bust out a pair of Hanes underwear. Everybody signs it, and here's the
Yep.
award. Here's the award.
Thank you for this honor, right?
Oh my God.
But no, it's definitely the talent and the variety that you do have here is you know, I hope people who are not familiar with island culture, I'd say take a chance on the books that we have here. If it's not Monocomics, one of the many others that we have here. Monocomics, I try to definitely, my influence, like I said, is to share that island culture and humor that we have here within my books. So by all means, you know, pick it up.
And if you want to get some of those books, head over to monocomics.com, and Chris has all his books there that you can order, and I definitely suggest.
Yeah, they're all right behind me, so I can just start putting it in the box.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Mr. Caravallo.
Thank you very much.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody, it's Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Compa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody, welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales. To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise. A promise of adventure. A promise of excitement. A promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Welcome back to SketchUp. We're here with Christopher Caravallo, and Mog is working on one of his characters, Sister Shark.
Sister Shark.
And we do have a bid on that already at $150. We are taking bids at $5 increments. So if you want to place a bid on that, we will accept it at $155 or higher. Yeah, Ilya has a bid on this.
Oh, really?
And this guy is constantly coming on here bidding on Mog's work. He's got a good collection of her work now. I think I just mailed 2 pieces to him last week.
Is he the Ewok guy?
Not sure. Can't remember if it was the Ewok one, but
yes.
he's gotten like several pieces already. I'm starting to lose track of what he's picking up. Right?
Okay. How about this, Mel? And to keep the bids lively, I'll also in conjunction to Mog's beautiful work, I'm going to throw in a trade back of Sister Whoever buys that, you get one of this. And to sweeten it even further, the latest issue, there's the holograph burst cover of Sister Shark showing the 3 main mana wahinis, which is Taco Ninja, Lionfish, and Sister Shark. So with those 2, with Mog's art, these 2 wonderful covers and stories, you get to learn. Not only do you have the picture, you have this background story to it. So I'm going to throw that in the mix too for this.
Okay, that just raised it up.
And then I'll sign it too.
Yeah,
I'll sign it too, right? That even
there you go. Free signature. Okay, and that's coming to you from Hawaii. Okay, so that's a big honor. That's a big jump in the deal there. And so we currently have a bid of 150. That's going to Ilya. And if you want to place a bid on this and pick up those 2 books, beautiful books, actually. I didn't make 155.
I didn't make too many of these. There's probably maybe under 30. I didn't make many.
Okay.
It's just incredible art for this.
What issue is that one?
I'm sorry.
What issue is that? Is that
this is number 3? So this is a collection. This one is the collection of her, I guess you want to call it like a prequel. There's a prequel, issue number 1, issue number 2. There's like a little baby Sister Shark story in this book. So it's kind of thick. And then this is the latest issue that I did, Sister Shark number 3. And this is probably the most expensive cover one that I have because of the fact it's a holograph burst cover. With the three wicked wahine. So it's a good grab. Along with the art, I think you'll definitely get a feel of the islands.
Fantastic. That's very funny, Stevie. He writes it when Chris throws in a round trip vacation to Hawaii. I'm in.
Then he'll do it.
Whatever. I'll take you to the beach and you can look at the bikini women. Okay, that'll improve that person's mood wherever they're at.
That's funny because I was raised in Hawaii, right? And then I came out here to work, and then I moved back home. Okay, and when I had moved out here, there was hardly any women surfing, right?
Right.
Then when I get back there and I'm on the beach and I'm looking, I was in Ala Moana, right? And I'm looking and said, there's a lot of wahine surfers now.
Right.
Holy
they're definitely on par with the local boys. Definitely on the island. But it was, when I used to work, I used to work in Waikiki too, so I'm familiar with the craziness. But whenever I was having a bad day, I pretty much just go to the ocean, soak in all the blues and so it was a nice mix of just it really replenishes your tanks if you're feeling depleted. The ocean and the views is a great way to make you feel good.
I used to tell her that too, because I used to work at the old Bank of Hawaii building, the Pineapple Building in Waikiki.
Yes.
I had a corner office on the 11th floor, perfect view of the beach and the Royal Hawaiian Hotel and their shopping center, right? But yeah, there was those times where I go, oh man, it's just a rough day.
Yeah.
The local guys, we have our swim shorts underneath.
You're freezing someplace and you're looking out the window like, wow,
it's hard. I had to close my blinds down several times. But yeah, I would have my swim shorts underneath, right? So man, I said I'm gonna go take a break. Okay, and I was kind of privileged that I didn't care how I ran my time. I could come in anytime I want and leave anytime I wanted to. Almost, not entirely, but I had that kind of freedom. So there's times where I would go to the beach. I'd swim a little bit, come back, comb my hair back. Yeah, okay, you might have a little sand or seaweed in there.
Sandy bibbies, yes.
And then go back to work.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
I
called a
loved
good
it,
day.
dude. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the job that I had, they gave me total autonomy because I was special. Because guess what? Because I had like special skill, which was
You could speak 3 languages.
yeah, I could speak 3 languages, right?
Oh,
so they put me
you're
in separate.
essential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess essential. So they, oh my God, there was no micromanaging, and I was alone. So during lunchtime, instead of eating lunch, I would just walk to the beach if it's a really bad day, and I would just like dunk my whole self in. And of
Perfect.
course, I always had slipper and change of underwear, and then I would get out. And I'm done, man. I'm like, I'm done.
That's a recharge. I'm telling you, that's a recharge.
Freaking
It's an instant recharge. Yeah, because I'd be gone for like maybe only like 40 minutes. Because it's like 5 minutes walk to the beach, swim for 30 minutes, 5 minutes back, and I'm back in the office.
Yeah. Yeah, the bluest oceans over here. I think in the Sister Shark comics, the colorist nails it totally. I just, it captures that how beautiful the ocean is that we have here, and a lot of times we kind of take for granted because it's there, but you don't often go as maybe as you probably like to. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely a connection to the waters here for sure.
So how did did any of that, when you were daydreaming as a kid, did any of those skills that they math and all that, does it help you now?
Does math English? I mean, I think with the writing and stuff, it definitely, like, I'm always gonna still be bad at math. I have definitely, thank God, I have a significant other that helps me on that side of it. But my God, basic math is okay, but once you start hitting algebra and geometry, I'm gone. But definitely the English, and able to craft a story. Thank you to all the teachers that were you were able to in their classes write stories and stuff, and you had practice doing that, and you gained that confidence that, hey, I can do it. And school for me, it was hard. I just wasn't, like I said, I was that dreamer in the back, but if I thank God I had things that I could, excel at, which was the creative, whenever they had like a creative writing thing, thank God that boosted my self-esteem to have that opportunity. So, I still have teachers that I think about today saying, well, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have that confidence to pursue something like this, because I had that opportunity that they gave me during that time. Say, hey, you're good at this, keep going. Right. So.
What about, how did you then become so eloquent the way you speak when you said you were a very shy kid?
I don't know. I think the police department, you kind of have, it forces you to really talk. You can't just get it quiet.
You're from Waianae, right?
Right.
Bro, that's some of the brokenest English speaking.
Right.
Yeah, but also Waianae.
No, but see, here's the thing. Because I traveled a lot, I started in Waianae, but then I ended up in Kailua. So I had two opposite ends of the spectrum.
That's a big swing.
Right? It's like, it was like, it's like total opposite mentality. So I think also, just picking up on different personalities in different areas that I went, as when I was in patrol, and just living, I lived in Kalihi a good number of most of my life. Yeah, so I lived
so you kind of moved up to the east side.
Oh, well, see, I did in Kailua, now I live in Eva.
Back on the
with
west.
my other half, Tiffany. So it's and up to us, like Eva, because Mel, you said you're from this side. We felt like this is the opposite end of the universe. We didn't really understand what went on here, but I love it over here now. Eva Beach is where it's at. That's how I feel, because you don't have the congestion. You don't have the congestion you have on Honolulu. It's a little more open, and everything you want pretty much is here. You don't have to go to that side unless you need something specifically. But
But Eva has its good side.
Yes.
And then there's the not so good side.
Well, but however, we're kind of like in the donut a little bit, because like there's old Eva, Eva. Anybody knows who lived this side. It's the fireworks show on New Year's. best
Road
ever.
dude.
From
We're the
Eva
ghetto.
and Waipahu. That stretch is the best that you're ever going to see because
that's the fireworks.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. For those who don't know, West Side in Hawaii is considered gangsta. So people in Hawaii, when we go work in Waikiki, then we ask each other, "Hey, where you from?"
Yes,
So we would
yes.
say, Ever Beach. It's like, oh, and then they don't mess with you, or they say, "Hey, why
No,
not?"
listen, that's serious.
Yeah.
I don't know, if I'm sure it's like that in other parts of the United States, but because I had just moved to Kalihi at one point. So Kailua for a good portion, like Waianae, Kailua, and throughout my high school years and part of my intermediate. And then I moved to Kalihi within like a month of being in Kalihi. And then I had one of my first jobs riding in a truck, and this one driver was, because I had to help him move beer cans, boxes to the stores, and he was giving me a hard time, and I was getting frustrated. I said, please, why don't you come down here and show me? He goes, where you from? Like how you just said, where you from? I said, well, Kalihi, but I'm like a month. But he goes, oh, that's why. I'm like, what? What is that? How it is? That's what you think?
Yeah.
Oh man!
But it's you could say Kalihi, right? When I was growing up, if people asked me like, "Oh, what school did you go to?"
Yeah,
what school you from?
They're so embarrassed.
Yeah,
This is how we would say it. I'd go like this, Campbell.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, right. There's even like,
so embarrassed.
But now I hear them and they ask, "Oh, where are you from?" And these guys are saying, "Oh, I'm from Campbell." They say it loud and
But it's
proud,
more like used as a threat now.
But it's
don't mess with me.
But it's almost kind of like a little bit of a testament, because that side has really grown up from where it used to be.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Like I said, it's a whole nother thing from what it used old Eva to now. It's total development change, but there's stigmas to different places that you live. Obviously, on over here, and there's certain places like I was. Oh, this is a good one. I was in Waianae, and I don't go up there too often, but I was there for like a visiting like a craft fair type with food trucks. And I didn't know that a lot of the tourists go there now, walking around, and it just was a culture shock to me.
Yeah.
And then I saw this like tourist, typical Bataloa shirt, shorts with like high socks, weird cap, and then I went, oh my god! And I did this too loud. I said, oh my god, to my girlfriend Tiffany, look at that! And I pointed to the guy, and he's like 10 feet away. He's like, look at me like what? Because you don't see that. Like at least when I was growing up there, I was like, what the hell is this? So it's like seeing a dinosaur walking around. But I mean, it's changed where you see like progress and things being pushed away and out. A lot more visitations in places that we were considered like it was a little more on the hoodish side, I suppose. And now it's being like developed. It's just so strange. How life is here now.
It's almost like the you can almost picture, like if you look at old Eva and you've got the raised housing, off the ground still.
Yeah,
it's like the homes from the 50s, and then there's that new side of it where it's these new homes that were popular from the mid 90s and the 2000s, right? And they're so new looking, and they're beautiful, they're pretty.
Yes.
Nice estates.
Well, you're talking like plantation houses, what old Eva started as. Stilt houses with wooden, no drywall, kind of just tin roof kind. That's how it was. Yeah. But it's definitely developed in such a way, and but
I remember going to Waianae, and I wanted to show Mog the beach over there. And I forget, what's that beach that's like in a very, very far end of it?
Oh, Yokohama Bay. All the way, all the way.
So we went there, right? And I was showing her like how, we were touring the whole West Coast over there too. And so we get to Yokohama, okay? And it's on a weekend, it's on a Saturday, right? And a lot of the local guys are hanging out there, they're drinking their beer.
Yes.
And they formed a gate, okay? So they're letting all the cars, go in, okay? But coming out, bro, if you was a haole, they wanted to, they were like the troll guards. They wanted to get something in return, right? So I'm in this line of cars trying to get out. I said, oh man, what do I got to do with this?
They were creating traffic too.
Yeah. So I get to the front, and I look at the guy. The guy's bigger than me too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at him, bruh, let me out. I said, oh yeah, sure, uncle.
Funny, huh? Yeah. And then people who don't know, like uncle, once they call you uncle, that's a term of endearment. You're accepted. Yeah. So it's all good at that point. Yeah. When they drop in F-bombs and H-bombs at white people's, it's
be careful.
You're pretty much done over there. That's not, like I said, that's how my brother used to get lickings all the time, because that's the way it was back then. It's definitely divided in that way, but those are just one of the spots that like when my family or friends that would come from the mainland, I says, oh, just you can go places, but you probably want, and it's beautiful out there, granted. Why not? Got some great spots,
very beautiful. Yeah.
And it's not so polluted, like the waters are to me a lot more bluer than a lot of places downtown, but just stay away, because they just don't understand that there's a different level that you have to be at of respect when you go through certain places. So don't even bother with that. Stay on these areas. I hate to tell them that, but that's just the way it is.
But let me get to some of the question here that Stevie's asking. He's saying that he got the Mutiny book that you worked on. What's that? 2 weeks ago.
I didn't sign it.
Yeah, you didn't sign it, and we'll try to work that out with you, Stevie.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
That. And he's also asking, does Don Ho's Tiny Bubbles still get radio airplay there?
I don't hear it, but I could probably play it on the ukulele. It's not really hard to play, but to sing it is a whole nother challenge.
Yeah.
But
I got a feeling that they do still play it if you listen to like the old Hawaiian radio stations.
Yeah, 105, one of those.
Yeah, you play.
I like, I've invited DJ Cavicani plays in a band, but I invited him over here to tune my ukulele because I don't know how to tune baritone kind, but he took the ukulele. He sang for like hour and a half, but
I think you guys posted something. I think I saw that you're posting on that. They were at your house. Yeah.
Yeah, he
came with you guys.
We had a signing at Other Realms, and he
came.
Yeah. And he used to tune ukulele. It's just gorgeous, and just some classic tunes, and that was a really good time out, and really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great. Can't wait to see everybody when we get back there, and hopefully, opening it up. I mean, we can come back there now, but with the amount of traveling that we do, I gotta kind of like watch how.
We do, of course. And time you got to time it with certain things that come up, and hopefully, we got some good announcement coming up soon for the opportunity you guys to come back. And man, I hope, Mog, I hope people with the covers that you made for Pele, I hope they get an opportunity to find you wherever they're at and get it signed. So,
thank you.
We'll make that opportunity, and we'll definitely contact you. Chris.
I'm
see if we can do something special for when we come back there too.
Yes, of course.
For everybody to celebrate. Yeah.
Yes, and I just got the last picture of the colored version of wait, now you can't see, but this is the last page. It just came in, so now all I gotta do is lettering for this. Here's Pele, and that's Kona side of the island, the Big Island, and that's the last page. It's colored. For those of you who know that I was working on this Pele book. All that's left is the lettering, and it's done. So,
nice.
Granted, there is the printing process, however, but that was such good news. When we were on commercial break, it popped up. I'm like, yeah, finally.
Nice,
you don't know, man. Deadlines and stuff. It's difficult, like because then. Like the artists that helped me out too, like obviously they're not doing it full-time gigs, DJ and Chris. So the family's always, they're all Hanukkah first. So it's them with their job of balancing, and then comics, to help it out. But so I get excited though when we finally hit it and it's all power. So this one, like I said, this one's special, and I think like the Kamehameha one, it will definitely see more people, more eyes will come to it, because it will be up at the Big Island, because the Volcano National Park, they carry our Amakua books, but this one, our Pele, I felt Pele would sit there for, like I said, like Kamehameha and Bishop. It's just going to stay there forever. and until the earth is no more. There's no.
You're creating a good legacy.
It's cool to think about. Like it'll be there when I'm gone, and it's something. I think that's really special, and yeah, I like I said, the opportunity to do it is really that blessing that
and
brings.
It's a great way too for the tourists to learn more about the culture and stories from Hawaii that they can take with them. So they're at the Bishop Museum and at the
volcano national park for Pele.
National Park there.
There's several other stores that carry, but when the tourists get a hold of it, I like that because they're learning that island culture that may not be as accurate when Hollywood portrays it, but it's definitely like I said, I keep it local, and it's definitely especially I like to think of the transplants who are local and they go to the mainland and they miss home. So when they crack one of these bad boys open, they're like, "Oh my God, this is classic." I mean, I feel like I'm back, talking with my neighbors or my cousins, and it's just that experience that when they're reading it, that I can imagine them how they must feel in it. It's that touches me too when I'm thinking about it.
And that brings me to this question that Stevie B was asked earlier. He asked, why isn't a television show developed that explores the rich history of Hawaiian spirituality and supernatural beliefs? What do you think your answer to that is, Chris?
I don't think it's all about money. Because I actually have, I'm going to try to pitch a screenplay, which I've never done before, to Netflix or Amazon. And it does have to deal with supernatural Hawaii and the myths and legends, and not just the Hawaiian side, but other different cultures mixed in with it. But I think what they think it's money and they don't think there's an audience for it. But I think what really kind of proved them a little bit wrong too, Netflix did Finding Ohana, which was basically like a Goonies local style version.
Yeah.
That really did well. And it didn't shy away from how people's banter were, and the pigeon that was pushed, that was shared. I shouldn't say pushed, it was shared, and that was authentic. It was use subtitles if you have to, because people have to understand. And but don't shy away from it, kind of embrace it and accept it and share with other people so they learn. And it's possible, but I think Hollywood standards, they automatically think, okay, what's the audience, how much money we're going to make, right? They don't look like, okay, this is an authentic look at it, and you'll learn something. People will learn so much from this. It's very valuable and precious to the local people. I think they just look at it a whole different perspective.
They're looking at it as the numbers, right?
Yes,
and the bottom line that they're concerned about. And they're looking at, when they look at a piece like that, they're saying, well, who is this going to appeal to? What demographics is this?
Yes, what demographic? Who is it going to appeal to? How much money can we? But I'm going to try. I'm going to pitch it. I swear, I'm going to do it. But what I'm planning to do, and it's that one I've kind of shared a couple times on my my Instagram and Facebook, is Local Mochos, which is 3 local girls who inherited a food truck, and they didn't know that in the evenings, their uncle, or the uncle of one of the wahine, he was actually a kahuna at night, and he would help local people. They didn't know that, but when he passed, it kind of like they kind of inadvertently inherited that too. So they have to help local people with supernatural type things that happen in Hawaii. So it's the best stuff of Hawaii. It's food and it's supernatural Hawaii. It's thrilling, and and you get a fresh look with these girls who are learning it. And on the way, I just think it's a great pitch and idea. And if anything, Finding Ohana, show that it can be embraced by the masses. So I'm really going to work hard and finishing the comic book. I just pitched the idea to Chris Lohman, and I hope he wants to draw it. But I think he's debating about it right now. But I want to have the comic book geared to go, and then I'm going to finish up a screenplay. And I have one contact. I'm going to try it.
Okay, fantastic. And I want to thank everyone for joining us in tonight. We're about out of
yay! Thank you so much.
you still have a few seconds left if you want to place a bid on the Sister Shark over here that Mog drew. And Christopher is throwing in 2 books, beautiful books on Sister Shark. So you'll get the whole story on her. Look at that beautiful chrome metal cover there. Holographic cover there. I definitely want to get one of those.
Yes.
But yeah, so you got a few seconds to place that bid in there. And be sure to join us next week, Thursday at the same time. And our special guest at that next week is going to be Madeline Holly Rising. And she wrote a series of books called Boston Metaphysical Society. She has a Kickstarter up right now, and we'll be able to review all that as well. Now, Stevie writes, thanks for the Hawaii travel log tonight. My wife and daughter got to go to Kauai before the pandemic and loved it. Unfortunately, I had to stay home and work, but maybe someday soon, Stevie. You're going to have to join us there when there's a con going on. I promise you, we'll show you a good time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen outside of the con that we like to do as creators when we get there. And so it's a whole big experience. So
I really like what he said too. So you're saying that coconuts didn't come from the rock bearing an eel?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, our time is up. Thanks again, Chris, for joining us, and I'll be talking to you later on in the future. All right, guys, thanks and thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mog and Mel. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.